Ring the bell indeed. Welcome, everybody, to The Raw Take. I am your host, Brooke, your queen of the Cup, here to bring you some quality wrestling content on the Cup Ringside, where you have the best ringside seat for all your quality wrestling content. And we are, of course, part of the Cup Podcast Network. And if you want any information on our sister channels, go ahead and check in the description down below. So, it is the last Monday Night Raw before Money in the Bank. We are here to talk about the July 1st edition of Monday Night Raw here tonight. We've already seen a lot of people already qualify for Money in the Bank. We still have two more qualifying matches tonight. We'll talk about those when we get to those. But we're on the road to a pretty big pay-per-view this Saturday. So let's get to going. Let's just get going. We want to skip all the preamble. Hit that notification bell. Give us a subscribe if you want more quality content, and let's just get it going. So we open up Monday Night Raw, which is in Boston this week, Boston, Massachusetts, with Jey Uso in the Money in the Bank ladder match. He is one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win the match in the betting right now. Comes through the crowds, talks about how he's going to win the briefcase, do all of these things. Standard babyface, I'm going to win this match promo, pretty much. And then out comes Chad Gable off the heels of his qualification for the Money in the Bank match last Monday. They go back and forth a little bit of instigation here from the Usos, talking about how Jey Uso talking about how Chad's got a little bit of a problem with the Wyatts going on right now. Chad calls himself a miracle, says that it's a miracle that he's made it through what he's made it through these past few weeks, surviving an attack from the Wyatts, his family leaving him, and then last week he toppled two giants and he won it to qualify into Money in the Bank. And then Chad says that Jey left his family, and then Jey throws some stuff back at Chad, and then the standard battle of fisticuffs here for a little bit. Uso got the upper hand. Chad was out on the ringside, and then of course you have another appearance by the Wyatts, or specifically Nikki Cross, still in her best Abby the Witch cosplay, as to be clear. Coming out, Chad books it through the crowd. Jay's like hiding in the corner for a little bit. And Cole is given another VHS from Nikki Cross. I think it's great. I think we're getting a lot of really cool stuff here. I think, and this is just my opinion, hopefully that the Wyatt Six is going to move away from Chad Gable. I don't think that it is the intended path at this point. I hope it's not, at least. I don't think these two need each other. I especially don't think Chad Gable needs to be involved right now with the Wyatt Six when he's going to be in a better position without them. And I also think that Wyatt Six, whoever they do end up feuding with first, it could be somebody else. I don't think Chad needs this. I don't think the Wyatt Six needs this right now, especially since Chad just turned heel. And I don't think you can have this kind of faction without them being at least negative villains. So we're really going to see how that turns out. But I honestly loved this opener. It was a really cool segment, and I think it really got everybody up on their feet and intrigued for what's going to come next with both the Money in the Bank match, the men's Money in the Bank, and the Wyatt Six and what they're up to. So after that, we then get a matchup between Xavier Woods and Karrion Kross. Some really cool stuff here. I really think it was nice to see Xavier get some solo stuff. He doesn't get a ton of singles matches, but when he does, it's always really great. I think back to the singles match he had with Gunther earlier this year, I think in May. Great stuff there. And as usual, great stuff here as well. But shockingly to me, Xavier Woods gets a clean win with a roll-up here. Awesome stuff. 10 out of 10 stuff. We love seeing this. But of course, after the match, you can't not have the villains attack after you lose with a roll-up. So the entire Final Testament beat the crap out of Woods and Kingston. New Day's down and out. Kofi then gets locked in I want to say almost like an elevated hammer lock. I don't really know a better way to describe it, but basically Kross is trying to pull Kofi's arm out, holds him there. Woods is being held back and held down. He can't really get to Kofi. They're probably going to be setting up a Kofi Kingston injury angle, and if so, cool. I think this gives an opportunity for Woods to finally get that elusive singles push that I have been looking for him for ages. Kofi has been given that opportunity. Big E has been given that opportunity. Xavier, even though he won King of the Ring a few years ago, never really got that chance. I want him to be a world champion in the next few years. I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon, but I think you start it now. And I think if you get Xavier to that point by, let's say, Money in the Bank next year, Xavier Woods could be a Money in the Bank contender next year. But of course, we have a little bit of stuff going on backstage with Judgment Day and all this other stuff. And I don't really want to get into all of that right now because we are going to be going into our next matchup after this, which is Liv Morgan versus Zelina Vega for the Women's World Championship. Some really cool spots here. Liv gets distracted by Dominic inadvertently. Zelina hits Liv with a 619, comes in with a satellite DDT. A lot of people in the crowd seem to think that was it. It was a really cool thing. You gotta remember also Rey Mysterio and Dominic are having a match later on tonight. So Rey gets shoved to the floor. That's what causes the distraction. And then Dominic throws a steel chair into the ring for Zelina to use. Liv then hits an Oblivion and retains the championship. I will say, I hope this kind of thing continues because Liv won the title from Becky with the help of that steel chair distraction from Dom. I think they're doing it just different enough that it doesn't feel repetitive and like copy paste. And I think it feels really nice and really cool. And I must also say, Liv and Dom and this whole feud has been fantastic. I don't know why this match couldn't have happened at Money in the Bank, personally. Liv hasn't had a defense on pay-per-view yet since she won the belt. And I know that was only a few pay-per-views ago, but I want her to defend the title on pay-per-view badly. I think I need it. I need to see it, especially considering doesn't feel like we're going to be getting a women's world title, a WWE women's title match at the pay-per-view. Either I'm a little irritated that this happened now instead of at Money in the Bank, but case or odd is what it is. So we have a nice little segment continue on. Seth Rollins has this segment with Damian Priest calling him out. We find out, we know as of last week, if Seth loses this match at Money in the Bank, he will not able to challenge for the title again. Finn Balor comes out, Damian Priest come out, and then everybody kind of just beats the crap out of Seth. Good, awesome, keep it on the same page. But there is an interesting level of a dynamic here between Damian and Finn, where previously it was very clear Rhea was the one keeping everything together. And now that Rhea's gone, Priest has the championship, so he's in charge. But Finn's also got a lot of experience, multiple-time world champion, if you count his NXT stuff. You would think that maybe that would give him enough. And now it seems like Priest could be on his way out of the group, and it feels like Finn might cost Priest at Money in the Bank. Damian could be kicked out, and I think because, the other side of the stipulation is if Damian loses the match at Money in the Bank, he's out of the Judgment Day. So it's possible we could see Finn distract Priest, Seth win the world title back. Ick. Don't want that, but, fits the booking. And then we get something like Damian Finn at SummerSlam while we have Seth versus Gunther, where Gunther wins the world title. I think that could be a really interesting take on this. And I really think that this Saturday is going to be really telling with Money in the Bank as to where the world title picture is supposed to be going for the next little bit. And it should be really interesting that Finn is doing his little heelish stuff because he took that key card from Liv Morgan. He's been seen interacting with her multiple times. I just think it's a lot more interesting than it might seem on the surface and what could be going into Money in the Bank. So we then have our first Money in the Bank qualifying match. This for the women's Money in the Bank match with Zoe Stark, Dakota Kai, and Ivy Nile. I am aggravated. I am beyond irritated because this past weekend, Dakota Kai on her Twitch stream was talking about how she's been with this company for so long, outside of like a very brief period of time, and that she's never felt like she's gotten the opportunity to succeed as a solo star. She's never gotten the opportunity. I fully agree with her. She should have been the one to defeat Raquel for the NXT Women's title. But again, the world's not ready for that conversation. And I think hearing what she was saying is she was begging for an opportunity to be a singles competitor, one chance to shine. And I thought with that, and especially considering the other two women in this match who haven't really been doing much, especially with Zoe in this whole Shayna, Sonya Deville situation, um, and Ivy Nile seemingly being here to take the pin. No offense, I love Ivy Nile. I thought this was going to be Dakota's time and her opportunity. But instead, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire have to come out here, attack Kairi Sane for reasons, and allow Zoe Stark to get the pin and move on to Money in the Bank. I don't agree with this booking decision even a little bit. I think Zoe has been in 2 Money in the Bank matches. She's settled nicely into a tag team with Shayna Baszler now. Like, they are in a good spot, the two of them, especially now with the Sonya Deville wrinkle. Ivy Nile, not the right choice either. I think you had a Dakota Kai sitting right there, and I think you backed up what she said, that they've not given her this opportunity. It feels wrong, and I don't agree with it. I'm not mad for Zoe. I think Zoe is, a great talent. I think she's going to be amazing in that match. She's very athletic. But at the end of the day, I feel like Dakota's getting snubbed again, and that just doesn't sit right with me. But we'll see how it turns out this Saturday. Maybe Zoe Stark wins Money in the Bank, and we're all going to be left stunned. So we then get this package with Uncle Howdy and Bo Dallas again, or should I say Uncle Howdy, who is Bo Dallas, yet again. And I don't want to go into full detail because I feel like you lose some of the power when someone recaps everything that you see, especially in a segment like this. But we knew already that Bo Dallas was Uncle Howdy, so getting this reveal that, Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy, we kind of already knew. But getting this segment was really interesting. And I think it was just a very amazing way to fully wrap up the story. Excuse me. Fully wrap up the story. Hopefully heading into Money in the Bank, we're finally going to get some answers. And I hope that we're going to see where this Wyatt Six stuff goes now that they're on TV, that I hope they get away from Chad Gable, because dear Lord, I want him to win Money in the Bank this Saturday badly. So we're going to see where this goes. I hope and pray that Wyatt Six goes and feuds with anybody else. But we'll see how that turns out. And I think this is really interesting here for me. And then we go into, I know, just for the record, somebody is backstage producing this. Can we get a the closest reaction gift to a yawn that we possibly have? Like, just a reaction image of a yawn, because this is something I am so sick and tired of. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio for the 900th time, and do we care? Yeah, that exactly. Thank you, Lana. Lana is backstage producing. She is the GOAT. Thank you, Lana. It's just, I'm so sick of this. Can we please get them back on separate shows? Thank you. That too. Thank you. Sad Jade Essence Hall. I just am so sick and tired of it. I want this feud to have to die for the rest of time. They fought at WrestleMania the past 2 years. Rey has won literally every match these two have had in singles and in tag team competition. I'm over it. Get rid of it. Move on. We are bored. We are bored. Rey wins again. Cool. Interference from Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega. Again, cool. Rey wins with a West Coast pop. I will say there is a point where Dominic lands on top of Liv, very similar to how she landed on him a few weeks ago. Can we please move on? Please move on. I don't want to deal with these two anymore. I could be seeing a mixed tag or intergender tag, whatever you want to call it, this Saturday at Money in the Bank for this. We don't really have a ton of matches on that card as of yet. So sure, put this on the card. It'll be fine. I think Liv and Zelina are going to elevate it, and Dom too. I think Rey's just kind of over the hill at this point. But can we please get these two separated forever, just permanently? Let Ray and Dom be Ray's retirement match next year at Mania. I don't care if Dominic's not doing anything, but like, please let it end. I'm so sick of it. So we then go to a promo from Sami Zayn, who is losing the Intercontinental Championship on Saturday to Braun Breaker. It is going to be delightful. Zayn comes out, cuts a little bit of a promo, and he's doing his thing, and Breaker comes out and then spears the crap out of Sami Zayn. As usual, Braun Breaker spears always look really good, but this one just hit a little bit different for me, almost as much as that one spear he hit on Ludwig Kaiser a few weeks back. Not as good, but close enough. But then Breaker's going around the ring, going for a second one, and Zayn jumps over him. Breaker hits the ring steps. I'm like, okay, now this is an interesting take on this, because I think really the big question has been, okay, how is Sami going to have a shot at beating Braun when he's been Brooke so strong? And I really think this was a way to convey it, until Braun gets back up and then hits Zayn with another spear. And I'm like, okay, no, this is not how you tell the story. This is not what you do. You end it with Zayn jumping over him and him hitting the ring step. So that way you have the hope of, oh, maybe Sami can like outsmart him and like finagle and maneuver his way around this blind bull in a china shop kind of guy. I think this was the wrong way to book this, but I'm not mad about it. I think it was a good choice. I think it was a good match. I think it was a good segment, and I think it is going to make this Intercontinental title match a little bit more interesting. I still think Braun is winning this match. I don't see a reason for Sami to keep the IC title anymore. Braun can use it, and he can be putting on these banger matches just like Gunther did when he was champ. Sami has been as well. Let's not pretend like he hasn't. But Braun is a young talent that could use this belt. Sami is a guy who's had it 4 times. Every time he's had it, it's been impactful. But I think one more doesn't really need to be super, super long, especially off the heels of the Gunther situation. It's time for Braun to just run with this belt. It's going to be great. So we then have our second Money in the Bank qualifier match tonight between Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and Ilya Dragunov. 2 matches tonight for the Money in the Bank, and both of them I think the wrong person won. I think you had Ilya sitting right there. I know people are going to be like, oh, McIntyre has to be on the pay-per-view so Punk can distract him and set up the match for SummerSlam. We've seen it. It's happened over and over and over again. Let McIntyre not be on the pay-per-view. Hell, you could let Punk distract him here, cut a promo about it at Money in the Bank, and have McIntyre beat the crap out of him. Like, I get it. I get why people want this to keep going, but it doesn't always have to be at the pay-per-view. It just doesn't. And I think there's an opportunity wasted here to elevate a talent like Ilya, who has been in incredible storylines and incredible matches in his time in both NXT and the main roster so far. But he hasn't been given that opportunity yet to really shine on a huge level like he was in NXT. Money in the Bank would have been a perfect opportunity for that, and he would have added some really cool dimension to that match. Ilya Dragunov can wrestle a match with a mop and make it entertaining. I know people are going to be sad about Sheamus here too. I love Sheamus. Do not get me wrong, but in a match with McIntyre and Dragunov, he was my least wanted selection here. I think Dragunov taking the win here would have been way more interesting, but then McIntyre wins by pinning Sheamus, and I'm just, I just don't agree. And it's hard to talk about something like this when you just don't agree with the outcome, because for me, I just felt like this was tailor-made for Ilya to win. But obviously it just wasn't the right choice, and for booking and for management. So we're going to see what happens. I would be shocked if we don't have CM Punk at Money in the Bank in some capacity. But this match was incredible. Do not get me wrong. Again, just the wrong winner for me. I think Ilya should have had this one all wrapped up here tonight. So, yeah, Monday Night Raw, everybody. We tried to keep it short and sweet for you guys today. I don't have a co-host to bounce off of, so I am just going to try to give you a summary and just my thoughts. But I will tell you, importantly, that we have a few things we got to talk about before we head out. So first things first. If you are a supporter of the Cup, go ahead and head down to launchcreations.etsy.com. Link in the description down below to buy all of our fabulous Cup merch, including cup mug, cup bottle, cup everything over there at that link. All of the description link is in the description down below. All of the proceeds are great and help benefit our channel. So if you want to support us, do that. Secondly, if you want to support us in a different way, you don't want merch, but you want other content, exclusive content, go ahead and head over to our Patreon link down below as well. And finally, I have to tell you guys something that's a really big deal. This will be the final episode of Raw Take. Yeah. So we the Cup have been talking and making some conversations, and we have a new show that is going to be coming to you guys after Money in the Bank. When it hits you guys, I hope you guys like it a lot. We're really excited about it and excited for the future of this channel. Now, and when I say last, that doesn't mean permanently. The last for now, we're going to see what happens and see if it comes back in the future. But for now, Raw Take is at minimum going to be going on hiatus. So thank you all to all of you guys that have supported and hit that subscription button. Every single one of you. We know our numbers aren't crazy huge. We're not Mr. Beast, but every single one of you here on the channel, we love and appreciate your support. Thank you so much. So in the future, we're going to see you guys soon for our Money in the Bank predictions are going to be coming out this week as well. And Money in the Bank is this Saturday. So everybody tune in. Cheers. Bye.